Madhouse Podcasting Network.
Hey, welcome to the first episode of Behind the Mask podcast. What's up, dude?
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. God, you guys, our viewers, you may not know this, but this is our fourth time recording the intro.
Yeah, because we're stupid and we can't do things right the first three times.
Technicalities, man. But you know what? It's done. We have everything nailed down. So let's get this going. Thank you for watching. And Scott, I want to personally thank you for agreeing to do this with me.
I don't know why I did, but okay.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Later if you got into a mistake or not. But this is something that I have been wanting to do for quite a while. And I didn't know which avenue I wanted to do the podcast. I wasn't sure what topics to cover. I know I personally want to do everything as an artistic POV of what we talk about, and Scott will give his input and the POV of how he sees things in the haunt industry. But with that said, let me tell you what the podcast is going to be about. We basically are going to get into our history in the haunt industry, as well as the last 20 years of what we've been doing and our what we do in the industry, as well as we're going to interview other scare actors / talent in the industry, and that's anything from monsters to prop builders, to maze, and maze and set designers, as well as management, which is where part of Scott's history comes in. And we're going to go on. We're going to go through and talk about some character development, sliding development, character design, story development, basically everything that will help benefit any newcomers or even current monsters that want to build a new character, build upon their current character, and then also when it comes to designing mazes and themes and all that stuff of people we bring on, we want to do that to encourage future maze designers as well. So it's the whole purpose of this is for inspiration. It's also because Scott and I, every time we talk on the phone, that's all we talk about is haunt, and and we love it. So we figured, why not? And he was the only person that I had in mind to do this with. Again, thanks, Scott. What do you want to get out of doing this podcast with it?
Well, basically, I mean, when we first talked about it months ago, he presented the idea, and yeah, there's a lot of podcasts out there that cover the haunt realms and stuff like that. But I think where we're going to differ a little bit is we're going to touch on all aspects of it, everything from retired haunt people to build to maze design to casting work to sliding to actual fans and future, possible future haunters as well. I know we have a couple of those on our list that still, remain to be seen whether or not they're going to come on, but they're there as well. So it's going to be basically more about we're a couple of haunt geeks that love haunt, but now we want to do a podcast to kind of throw out as much information as we can is to help other people develop or maybe trigger an interest in the haunt industry and have others, join the quote unquote ranks of being a haunt monster or whatever they want to do in this realm, whether it be, designing or on the build side, behind the scenes or out in the mix, scaring people on the front lines. So I think it'll be pretty cool. We're always open to questions. Obviously, like if we do these podcasts, you see something and it triggers a question, feel free to just post the question, in the comments, and we'll get to that as soon as we can, and give you the best answer possible without obviously crossing any trade, quote unquote, trade secrets from anybody.
Yeah, and it's not about, we're not doing this to, give trade secrets, of course.
That's not going to happen.
This is mostly about, like, so the first, seven episodes or so are going to be mostly, Scott and I, we're going to talk about our history. We're going to talk about what we did after we retired as talent, and what we currently do. We're going to talk about, the history of sliding. We're going to, talk about sliding techniques, like a whole thing on sliding. We already have a few guests that we've interviewed, and we have a big list of people that we want to interview.
Yeah, it's crazy. Even if we get a small part of that, it's still going to be a big number of people.
Yeah, and
honestly,
and our first guest is a big one. He's been around for decades in the industry, specifically Knott's Scary Farm, Ghost Town.
And now retired, but he's a staple, icon character that was at Knott's for a long, long time.
And a huge part of a lot of the stuff you see across the board now, sliding included. He has, he's a big part of all of that. He's a big part of, certain techniques. He's a big part of certain management changes, like everything. He's a crucial part of the industry. And so we were able to interview him, which was just a great thing for the two of us, because Scott and I are both deeply connected with him. So
a ton of history.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, is that there's a lot of people out there that always wonder where certain things have come from, and hopefully with our episodes, some of those questions, at least some of the questions, will be answered, as to where, this started here. Oh, who created that? That person did this way back then. So a lot of people don't know that. And for the big fans, they're interested in stuff like that.
Yeah. And
so that's what we're going to try to uncover.
Yeah. And we're lucky enough to be able to be connected to these people, and have a history with a lot of these people, and they're all going to stem from the main hub of the industry, and that's Knott's Scary Farm. They were the first one to do it. And everything, circles around Knott's Scary Farm. So, we're lucky enough to have these connections, and we want to share these connections with everybody. And when they come on, it's just going to be a huge, information hub, basically. It's going to be a lot of history. I know that there's, we all know there's been, DVDs done on the history of Knott's Scary Farm. You go on YouTube, you can find all kinds of stuff on YouTube about the history of Knott's Scary Farm, but you don't get the true history or the true in-depth stories until you actually talk and hear one-on-one with the people that were actually there doing it.
Yeah, when they're in the trenches.
Yeah, so that's what this whole podcast is about. It's about, like, getting in depth and getting in detail, finding out what was the thought process behind why they did a certain character, or why they did a certain walk, getting into their backstories of their characters, why they decided to slide versus not sliding, because there's a lot of people that we're going to have on here that were not sliders, and so we wanted to bring in detailed stuff to help anybody that are coming up in the industry, or anybody that started the industry, and even people that are in the industry that are developed, they have fully developed characters, and they can get some information on, like, oh my god, that would be kind of cool to add something new, or if you're in the process of wanting to change your character, it's just going to be a big wealth of information.
Yeah. Just as a disclaimer for you viewers, though, yes, Scary Farm is going to be brought up a lot, but our podcast isn't focused on Scary Farm, nor do we play favorites towards Scary Farm. We do have a broad guest list of different people from across the country, from West Coast to East Coast, Midwest, all of that stuff. So it's not going to be just that. We want people's stories from all over the place, because everybody has a different perspective on their certain event or on how they do things. So you, the viewer, will be able to get a good idea on, if you decide to do this, you can get a good idea on which path you want to go. You want to go to, an amusement park and run, work an event there, or do you want to just work a pro haunt, which is outside of an amusement park, or if you just want to stay and do home haunts, because there's a place for everyone and what their thought process is.
Yeah. Not so be brought up a lot because, again, that's where we're from. But, like Scott said, we will be contacting a lot of people you may not have even heard of. There's a handful of people on Instagram that, we're going to reach out to that are very, they work a bunch of different events. They travel working events. We definitely want to talk to them and find out why they chose to do different events as opposed to sticking to one. Just it's so big now.
I gotta tell you, dude, reaching out to people is a process, man.
I know, right?
Just trying to gauge their interest first before you start throwing, time frames out on them. It's kind of painstaking, not gonna lie.
Well, it is. We're all busy. We're all busy.
Yeah.
We're all busy, and we all have lives, and and again, we're small. We don't have a huge following, so nobody knows who we are. Hopefully at some point that could change, but we're not doing it for that. We're doing it for the information. We're doing it because we just love talking about haunt. We like talking about, scaring and, masks and, horror and everything. We like to talk about that stuff. So why not record it? We would, every single time Scott and I talk, there's not one time we don't talk
Haunt.
About fucking haunt. Or,
the haunt industry, Halloween horror, whatever that, and some level in every conversation that comes up.
Always comes up.
So.
And, I'm the reason, I'm sorry, but Scott's the reason I was a slider. When we'll get into that in my history as well as his history, but he is the main reason why I was a monster for so long and why I did so well as a slider, because I learned from him and he started a business to develop and train sliders, which is what we'll get into again later on. So this is just an intro to let you all know what we're going to do, what we're about, hopefully gauge your interest and your excitement. And if not, then, hey, we're having fun and we're going to have fun because we're going to be talking to a lot of people that we haven't talked to in years. We're also just going to be doing the thing that we love doing, which is talking about haunt and talking about scaring people. And there may be some episodes where we will just sit there and start talking about some our favorite scares. So so that's what this whole Behind the Mask podcast will be about. And we hope you guys watch and enjoy and subscribe, and we will end the first episode here, and I guess we will just see you on the next episode.
Don't forget to follow us on social media. Click that follow and subscribe button here and hit that bell. And also, if you guys find us on social media and you have questions outside the podcast, feel free to reach out to us there.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in episode 2, where we'll talk about Scott's history. Should be interesting.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Talk to you later.
Adios.